It's some free nights and weekends type shit, man. What up, guys?
Welcome back to another daily episode of Free Nights and Weekends. Man, we got a special guest in the building today with us. Matter of fact, we in his building. So I'm gonna let this man go ahead and introduce himself.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's Marcel, Stewart, abstract artist here at Emoji Fine Arts out in Southfield, Michigan. We're usually here on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 1 to 6. So I'm here with Greg, ready to talk with you guys about art.
Hey, so I think this is going to be a great conversation. We're going to pivot into a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get educated just as well as I hope that y'all going to come here and get educated as well. So I guess my first question would be to you is, what made you start painting initially, period?
And we diving right in.
Yeah.
No, to be honest with you, I always had a creative mindset. My first thing that I ever remember creating that was art was a plate at school. Okay. I took the plate after I was done eating. I drew on it. I gave it to my great grandmother. That's going on. But that's the first thing my mom even remembers me creating. So it was actually a piece of art that I created. That was in kindergarten.
Gotcha.
So I've been doing art since then. I had a creative spirit, but then I started drawing, man, doing sketches in high school. You know, drawing people, drawing characters like Bugs Bunny, stuff like that.
Wow.
Got into doing portraits, and it just kind of flew off from there.
So that's crazy. So let me ask you a question of this, right? What would Emoji Fine Arts mean to you, or what does it stand for?
Well, Umoja is actually Swahili for unity.
Right.
And with that being said, you know, that's what it means to me, you know. I actually was discovered by Umoja from, you know, the owner, Ian Grant, his son.
Oh, wow.
So his son seen a post on Instagram that I did when I had a solo show me and my wife put on.
Okay.
And then some lady, she took a picture next to one of my paintings, kind of blew back by it, and then the son of Ian Grant seen the picture on Instagram.
Wow.
He was like, "Dad, hey, you need to get this guy."
So let me ask you this. So, damn, that's kind of like being a rap artist or like a athlete. So you can actually get signed under someone to be an artist?
Well, yeah, it was kind of like that. So he sought out my talent, and then, you know, from there on, with his skills, he's a marketer as well.
Okay.
So he goes about on his guerrilla marketing strategy to kind of attack the art market and, you know, build an artist. Because, you know, in reality, the only difference between a small $10 artist and a large $10,000 artist is the marketing team that's behind them.
Okay.
You really have to have somebody with you that's willing to be able to push you and push your name, because at the end of the day, I paint.
I got you.
You know, I'm an artist, you know. I can be a businessman as well, but it's always better to have that third person say, "Hey, I also deal with artists. If you like art, here's my artist.
Wow.
Here's the best artist in the world."
Wow.
That'll sound a lot better than me boosting my own ego.
So let me ask you this though. So how do you get your ranking, or how do you get your notoriety up as a per se artist?
Well, you know, one of the you want to sell art. That's the first thing, but you don't want to sell yourself short.
Okay.
And that's the other biggest thing. So, you know, how you get your notoriety up and how you get your fame up, you want to start going into exhibitions, you know. So how I started off in a social club, you know. And then from that social club, I started entering into local art exhibitions where I sold my artwork for $300, $500.
Wow.
You know, but now, seeing where I'm at, you know, about 3 to 5 years later, there's no way I could sell my artwork for that price, because you know, it'll be a kind of like a slap in the face to the person who bought my artwork yesterday.
I got you. That makes total perfect sense.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So how long have you been doing it in totality, painting?
Okay, so
professionally, I would say.
Okay, so after high school, I started painting, and I graduated in 2009. So I started painting, played basketball.
Right.
I put the paint down, and then I started back painting, and then I say I started up, and I want to say 5 years professionally painting. You know, and then 3 years inside of this gallery, and then 2 years as the gallery manager of this gallery.
Oh, okay.
So it's been going pretty well, you know, and during that time I've been able to not only show nationally and internationally, but also in museums. And I've also sold my work, you know, nationally throughout the nation to places or private clients in Alabama, you know, Atlanta, Miami, Chicago.
So let me stop you for right quick for my guests. And it's crazy because like as the youth and we in this social media era, right, and people love this fame, but as you hear this brother's, you know, journey, it didn't come overnight. And as well, you don't necessarily, to have the notoriety or to get famous or whatever you want to do, you don't necessarily always have to be an athlete. You don't necessarily always have to do the, you know, the social norms in our construct that we have. And he is a, you know, great testimony that he's showing and proving that he's a black man in the art gallery. You know what I'm saying? He does art. So I like that you talking about this.
Let me speak on that, man. Because it's been times where, you know, you find yourself down. Everybody really kind of second question things. I played basketball in high school and I played a little basketball in junior college. And while doing that, you know, you kind of look at some of your teammates or just other people saying, wow, they went this far, you know, and then you wonder how far you can go in different areas of your life if you keep pushing, you know. And it may not be the thing that you practice most on, you know. Sometimes it may be something that you just touched on a little bit, but nobody else pushed you to keep going.
I got you.
You know, so it's just like you need to find yourself, and that's what I had to really ask for and look for in myself is, what can I push myself in hard? So what can I go hard at?
So let me ask you this: but did this come natural to you, like the hooping did, or would you say
the painting? No, it didn't come natural. No, not at all. But you know, the hooping really didn't come natural either. You know, I had a crazy jump shot before I even tried to perfect it. You know, it was just I just wanted to try to hoop. So then I said, okay, I know I did art before.
Gotcha.
When I started hooping, I never hooped before.
Exactly.
So I just tried to start hooping one day. But when the art came, it was like, okay, I've done art before, and that was good. I just stopped because nobody messed with it. Nobody liked it.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, I'm about to just try to do it again. And first thing I do is I'll try to draw a flower, like I used to just sit and still life. So I'll draw something that's right there. And I did it. It looked good, and it was on the back of a notebook, so it wasn't even on paper. So then I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna step it up a notch. Let me go to the art store, get some paper. I'm gonna draw my wife. I'm gonna draw my mom. I'm gonna draw my little sister. And then after that, I probably won't even do no more drawings of people. So those are the only drawings I end up doing.
So let me ask you this though, because we like to get real and we like to get messy on free nights and weekends, right? So what made you persevere and want to keep going? Because I know we got the lovely wife sitting over here. So what made you want to persevere and keep going with this art thing?
It was two things, man. I'll be real with you with that. So I'll be real with you on that. So it was the wife, you know what I mean? All in all, it wasn't just me, you know, because I've quit, you know. I've definitely felt like I've been through a lot of emotions during this journey, you know what I mean? I broke down to where I said, no, I don't want it 3 times to hurt, you know what I mean? And that right there is like admitting to yourself that you quit, you know what I mean? And to turn back on that and say, okay, I can't, because you start to think like it was people that really liked my art.
Right.
So I'm turning them down.
Exactly.
And all the other people that could see it, you know, potentially. So it's like I'm turning that down. And then around the same time, you know, my daughter was born. And it was like a decision to, you know, be full-fledged and not know what I'm going to do and keep continuing not knowing what I'm going to do and searching for that purpose. Like I told you, I wanted to be good at something. I just didn't know what it was. So it was either just be lost by like not knowing where I'm going and also really not winning at the same time. But I ended up going full-fledged in art, whether I was going to win or lose.
And you know what? I like that, because that's like just believing in yourself. Although you, like you said, we have that support system, but the number one is like, okay, believing in yourself. You know what I'm saying? To persevere, and I love that. So that's why I got you on here, man. That's why I wanted to feature this black man. You know what I'm saying? To give him his flowers, or like they would say, give a man his confidence to be able to step out into the world and be able to conquer the world in different aspects and different sectors that, you know, sometimes we not as privy to. Sometimes we don't understand. So, you know, this is why I'm here, and that's why he here. We here to give the information. So let me ask you this, to pivot into this, right?
Okay.
What is your creative process?
You had some good questions. No, but I have a lot of different creative processes, you know. one of mine that I was telling my wife earlier is like, okay, I freestyled this painting.
Okay.
So some of them I usually do freestyle, but regardless, my day-to-day normal creative process is creating art as if it was music. You know, so creating and underlaying, which is usually the texture and the surface of a painting. Everybody loves to see textures, like looking at a feeling, you know. And then on top of that, I usually coat my paintings with about 30 different layers of paint. So it's a lot of the canvas, you know, and you can see windows a different color as you really look into it. It's like that. Then I layer on different shapes or different brush strokes.
Okay.
And that's symbolic to, you know, different harmonies that you hear in a song, you know. And then I'll add on my signature splash, as you can see in this painting.
Okay.
So that's a federally copyrighted splash that I developed.
Okay.
And it just stands for liberation. You know, an uprising, being able to be free and unshackled, and being able to raise up your hands, you know. So, you know, with that being said, you know, that's the last piece that I usually like to throw on top of some of my paintings to signaturize it as mine, you know. And when people see it, they know, hey, that's a Marcel Stewart.
That's a Marcel Stewart. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's nice. That has a little ring to it too. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So let me ask you, overall, like, what does art means to you? Like, you know what I mean? Overall,
art is everything, man. Once I started to gain a true understanding of art, when I first started it, I wanted to make something beautiful, put it over somebody's couch, put it in somebody's office, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not that anymore. A lot of people think of it like that, though, right?
Right.
Like, okay, I'm not getting art because I don't need it over my couch.
Exactly.
Whatever, you know. But in reality, no, it's not that. Art is everything. Nothing would exist without art. Your jacket is art.
Exactly.
You know, your shirt is art. Everything that we see is art. Cars, they design them every year from an artist.
Gotcha.
You know, people really do go to school for these types of things. The potato chip bags are art. You know, these microphones are art. So with that being said, I fell in love with it for that aspect. But fine art is what's created from the heart, uniquely driven, you know, and it's intuitively driven. So with that being said, you can have an artist like myself that's living. I'm 30 years old, and 60 to 70 years, I probably won't be here anymore.
Exactly.
But my art will still be here.
Your art will live on.
Whether it's sold or it's not sold, you know, to be in someone's house or to be in my estate.
So let me ask you this, because like you're saying, the way you speak of fine art is like, it's a difference between a watch and a timepiece. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I'm looking at how you're viewing the art, you know what I'm saying? Especially your art. And so I really wanted to know and ask this, right? Because I know that you said that you are an abstract painter.
Yes.
What is abstract painting?
That's a great question. So it's a lot of different styles of art, like how you had mentioned. To just start off, first and foremost, you have art prints.
Okay.
And commercial art prints are what you would find at like Walmart, Target, Family Dollar.
Gotcha.
Commercialized, no signature, printed on canvas,
Okay.
20, 50 bucks.
Gotcha.
Commercialized.
Commercialized.
And then you'll have an art print from an artist.
Okay.
And that can be an artist proof or whatever kind of print, but it'll have a signature on it.
Okay.
And that's what you look for.
Gotcha.
And artists did that.
Okay.
It's not computer generated or anything like that.
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying.
It was an artist living that had to do it.
That had to do it.
And he signed it, or she signed it. So with that being said, that can be an art print. It can be on canvas, paper, whatever, different type of mediums, and different type of editions.
Okay.
They can print it 2 times. That makes it more limited.
So they can print it 2 times, and
That's it.
Okay, cool.
That can be the only 2 in the whole world.
Okay, so kind of like how they kind of doing the NFT stuff.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So then you move on to the last and most rare of it all, the one-of-one original painting. I painted this one. I put my hands on this canvas. It got painted in my studio.
Gotcha.
That sacred place where I put the 30 layers on. You can come up and see the 30 layers. You can see the gloss, everything. You can see the signature, everything. Even the imperfections you can see
Okay.
and admire, you
That's
know?
what's up. I like that.
And then you can see how I put the wire on the back so you can hang it. Everything. You'll get a certificate of authenticity with it.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and all of that is what builds up the value.
It builds up the value. So you know what? I had a question that I didn't have before, but let me ask you this, right? What type of paint do you actually use for your canvases? Because I'm sure it's like, you know, different types of paint, right?
It is. It's a lot of different types. So the type that I use and that I usually go to is acrylics.
Okay.
So right now, I've actually been being mentored by different artists around this gallery that are part of this gallery because we work with national and international artists.
Okay.
So some of the international artists I've been rubbing shoulders with, and they've been able to, kind of coach me on what to use, the best products to use, how to expand my thinking, and expand my mindset. So with that said, I'm starting to work with resin. So I've done 2 pieces in resin. One of them already sold in this art show that we're having. It'll still be up until June 22nd.
Okay.
So anybody that want to come in, feel free to come see it at Umoja Fine Arts.
No doubt. So let me ask you this, because I said you also you build your own frames as well, or you have?
Yeah. So in this art show that I was just mentioning, I did about over 20 pieces, and out of those 20 pieces, I had about, I want to say, a good share of them framed up, and I had custom designed all of the frames that went on my pieces.
Okay.
I had them custom framed.
Okay.
So here at Umoja, we offer custom framing on any piece, even if you didn't purchase it from here.
Wow.
Let's say you got a print from, let's say, one of those stores that I mentioned, and you want to bring your print in, get a better price than, let's say, Michael's or something like that, or just come with a black-owned business and get your print made up, and pick out a custom frame, get up close and personal.
And listen here, man, you are really servicing the people.
All
different type of ways, and it's like,
and that's what it's about. And I think the tool to service, is the education. The education around what people are purchasing. Like the fine art in itself is something that could be cherished. Not only for you, but to go on. On and on and on for ages. It's something that's going to last. It's not like how we mentioned a pair of gym shoes. If we get a pair of Gucci's, I like Gucci's. So I wear a pair of Gucci's, but I know those Gucci's for me. They ain't gonna last forever. They not for my daughter, they not for my wife, none of that.
Exactly.
But something like this, if I decide to buy a piece of art, which I do, I also purchase art. So if I decide to purchase a piece of art, I know that art has to be good enough to last for my daughter.
Got you.
And I know it ain't gonna get ruined. I ain't walking in it every day.
Got you.
So
let me ask you this real quick though. So what black painters or artists has inspired you?
It's a few. So it's one black abstract painter.
Okay.
And I'm gonna answer that question that you asked earlier in a minute, but it's one black abstract painter. His name is Sam Gilliam.
Okay.
And his paintings are extremely large. He doesn't even stretch them out to where you can hang them up.
Straight up.
It's more so like a sheet, and he hangs them throughout the place. So like he would hang it like throughout this whole place, and just let it drape.
Okay, like a drape.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So that's one guy, and I like his art because he has it on the outside of buildings. And then there's another artist named Richard Mayhew.
Okay.
So his work is about the size of your keyboard.
Wow.
Most of the time, it could be small pieces of paper, but it's so vibrant with watercolors that he can control, and he ends up making like landscapes that just look like beautiful colors of trees and roads that you can travel down. Those paintings go for about $125,000.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it's all about the value, and that you can build the fame that your name can carry, and then who else is behind you, supporting you.
So let me ask you this, because I don't want to sound like I'm a layman, I'm regular. Like Basquiat. So what type of painter is he? And like his notoriety, I guess people would know about that.
Right. So Basquiat, his painting style is very rare. He doesn't really even classify his style,
Seriously?
Yeah, so nobody really does it. If you do his style, you get a Basquiat style. It's not like it's abstract, really. You can call it abstract if you want. Yeah. But, people say that he draws like a kid. And that's how I can familiarize people with what his style is if they don't know.
I got you.
But his style is very unique. He once sold a painting for hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah, and not only did he sell it, but he sold it out of New York at an auction house to overseas individuals. So these people that aren't black, that aren't part of our culture, are now buying what we create. So we're creating it in order for our culture, first of all, to help build us. And then you can build your son, daughter, whoever, your cousin, your uncle, build their wealth.
Exactly.
But instead, we're allowing everybody else to grab hold on to it.
So we're exporting our own goods.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this real quick. So are you speaking to a particular audience when you're drawing your paintings, or
Yes. First of all, speaking to a young group.
Okay.
I want all of the youth to know you can do anything you can put your mind to,
That's important.
But the first thing is dedication, you know what I mean? You have to be dedicated. Like, it's a tremendous amount of dedication. You gotta have correct education. You gotta know how to speak. You gotta know how to do math. That's really what you need to go to school for. You need to know the other subjects too, pay attention and have diligence. And then beyond that, I like to speak to older individuals, those who have no hope left. I sell my artwork. A large part of my audience are older individuals, elderly individuals.
Wow.
They love my artwork.
Wow.
They love my artwork. They love how vibrant it is, how exciting it is.
Yeah.
It's seldom that you see an older person with the excitement and glitter in their eyes.
Right.
And when they see my paintings, you see it again.
Right.
You see it again.
Like a breath of fresh air.
Exactly.
Right?
And it makes me think, when I get that age and I'm painting a painting, I'll still have that same soul.
Ooh, that's
so
nice.
I can still paint this image at that age. That's the
nice.
good thing about it. It's not like an athlete. You got to retire at 35.
Like you said, here we go again. I can't pass my talents on to my, my child. I can't pass on these certain things to my child. But with this is something that's concrete. And that, like you said, if you do it right, it can just multiply.
It's in the bloodline. It's in the bloodline. So there's a young lady. She is around, I want to say, in her 80s. Her name is Shirley Woodson.
Okay.
And she was just honored at the Detroit Institute of Arts. And she's one of the first black people that had her own exhibition at the Detroit Institute of Arts.
Okay.
And just seeing how phenomenal that is, she set a benchmark. And a historical state in her family, by doing that,
That's great. You know what I'm saying? So, young ladies, I hope y'all hear this. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the inner city, like you can do anything you want to, anything you want to put your mind to, you can do it. So let me ask you this, because I looked on your website and I think I counted, right? I think I counted so far. You sold 29.
I didn't even count.
You sold like 29 paintings.
That might be on the website.
On the website.
That might be on.
I might stand corrected, so.
It might be on the website, but it's a lot more. I'll tell you that. Because I not only say that not from a bragging standpoint, but I got a lot of collectors, and I want to show love to all my collectors. It's not only 29 of y'all. Y'all got a lot of brothers, sisters, and cousins out there. So don't feel lonely. But all of my art pieces, man, I feel like they're a little baby. That inspired out of me, out of my fingertips, rather, and they're different colors, they got family, out of that same little move, but when you push them out there and somebody collects it and they say, oh, this is the one that I've been looking for the last 5 years, then that's when it hits you like, oh, I would have never known. I created it as a part of these guys, and I thought it was a part of the whole family, but hey, go ahead off, So
let me ask you this real quick, so does it, I know it gotta be like, gratifying or feeling good, feeling that when somebody actually appreciate all this hard work and the thing that you're trying to push out to your audience. Tell me how that feels.
Yeah, so I guess I can answer your earlier question now, like what you meant about what is abstract. Yeah. Because that's like the same answer. It's kind of hard at first pushing out my artwork because it's like, what is it?
Yeah.
What's abstract? First of all, what am I even looking at? So like I'll explain to a lot of people, the image is the image. You don't walk in with a question. Because you don't walk in with a question when you see something that you recognize. If you seen a person painted, you walk up to it and say, okay, it's a person.
It's a person.
Then you would say, okay, does this person look like that person?
Exactly.
Same thing with any other object. So with abstract artwork, you need to walk in with the same state of mind, an open state of mind, and saying, okay, it's abstract. I know it is.
Right.
If you don't know the definition, you have to look it up, and it simply just means a theory. Yeah. And whether that be a color theory, geometrical theory, or just a theory of space.
I got you.
So when you walk up to it, you think open-minded, and you say, okay, what do I see?
And you know what? So that's great because I'm a objective type of thinker. You know what I'm saying? I'm a complex type of thinker. You know what I'm saying? I'm very detailed and deep and intellectual. And so like you said, when I look at a painting like this, like you're right, I can look at maybe a portrait, or would you say that's what it is when it's just a
portrait?
It's a portrait, right? But when I look at this, like you said, it draws out the emotion. It draws out what I may be feeling, or I can see the yings and the twangs and the lines. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know how to express that.
But that's the thing. It's more so as I'm expressing it for you. And that's why people purchase the painting.
Thank you.
Because it's like, okay, I got all this joy, or maybe I got all this depression, and I need a little bit of joy, I just don't know how to get it out.
Exactly.
And so people put it on their wall, and they look at it every day. Sometimes they might even sit in front of it.
Wow.
Light a fire.
Wow.
You know?
That's deep.
That's the reality of it.
So let me ask you this. So as well as it can be therapeutic for the collector, is it therapeutic for you when you paint?
Oh man, it's in a different form, but yes, completely. So for the collector, first and foremost, I've walked in collectors' homes where they don't have any wall space.
Wow.
It's like how thin this is, that's how their whole house is. And it's astronomical because they love art that much,
wow.
You know?
Wow.
But that's their therapy. You know, that's how they get their joy.
Gotcha.
I can understand it.
That's
For me, you know, it's more therapeutic in a motion standpoint. Like, I would go away and think, where would I want to be at, or what do I want to feel, and how do I want to make it happen, you know, or just start to, like I say, like freestyling, like rhyming with colors, contrasting colors, black, white, black, white, black, white, but with different colors. Like a blue, red, orange, teal, you know, stuff like that. And just the brush strokes themselves, doing them slow or doing them hard, or doing them in a different way, and just using different motions, using different tools. It is therapeutic, you know, because then you see different results.
Yeah. That's, hey, you know what? That's lovely. The way that you put that, kind of like sitting by the ocean.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like that's how you describe that. That's how just free flowing of what I feel in the motion. You know what I'm saying, and in the moment. So let me ask you this: what is the most? I don't want to be in your pockets. I ain't pocket watching. But what is the most expensive painting you have sold?
The most expensive painting that I've sold was, I want to say 6,500.
Okay.
6,500.
Okay.
And beautiful piece.
Beautiful piece, huh?
And I tell you what else. Those pieces, like I know they're beautiful once I'm done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of, sort of, but it's like I don't know that they're beautiful when I create them.
Gotcha.
I don't know that they're beautiful as soon as I'm done.
Okay.
It's just once it's all done, I may even have to turn it over and say, that's the one. Sometimes it happens like that, and coincidentally, it happened like that for that one, you know, and because it did, I made a part 2 to it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So that's the backstory to that?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this real quick, because that's what I wanted to talk about, the money thing, and this was, I guess, a lot of people want to know, especially with black people, where can we park our money? Where can we have value with our money? So with generational wealth, you know what I'm saying, would it tie into, you know, buying art?
Yeah, without a doubt, especially if you're young, you have to find something to invest in, and investing simply means finding out a way to save and increase your money. You know, if you want to have an asset, you know, that brings you money, then definitely find one that will have a return on the investment. You know, when it comes to fine art, if you're looking for an asset that's an investment that can appreciate over time, you want to look for an artist that has something behind his or her name.
Gotcha.
For instance, I'll give you a few things about me that will give you my credibility.
Okay.
That will make your investment a little bit more trustworthy.
Gotcha.
I've been featured in magazines. I've showcased at different museums. I've showcased nationally and internationally. As I mentioned, my artwork is in private collections throughout the nation.
Gotcha.
Along with that, I've done booth shows. I'll be doing a art show in Wisconsin later on this month.
Okay.
I'm the gallery director of this gallery that's been around for 26 years.
Okay.
So things of that nature, I think, shows my credibility versus if you were to go purchase a piece of art from Belle Isle Art Fair.
Got you. I got
So
you.
that's the difference.
So that's how. So let me ask you this. So that's how really an artist become authenticated by his body of work that he puts out and how it's received by the masses.
Exactly. Because those are the people that will buy your artwork on the secondary market. And then next to that is you have a larger secondary market, which could be the auction houses.
Okay.
There is an auction house called Christie's, and there's another auction house called Sotheby's, and another one called Swine. They're all in New York.
Gotcha.
These are big auction houses, and to make it more relatable to our culture, they sold the first pair of Jordans that Jordan ever wore in a playoff or in a regulation game.
Wow.
They sold those for about $125,000. Now imagine how much paintings go for.
Exactly.
So they just start putting artists in those auctions.
Seriously?
Black artists. And one of those black artists is named Paul Goodnight. We represent Paul Goodnight here.
Oh, do y'all?
Yeah, so he's one of my mentors as well.
Okay.
So I'm under the tutelage of him, and he gives me pointers and lets me know how to prepare my work for that next level.
Okay.
So with things like that in mind, you could kind of have a inside scoop on, like I said, where to collect,
Right.
what artists to collect, what artists are up and coming, because obviously the price will not stick here for me. It'll keep rising up as I get more information, as I get into more places.
More notoriety.
Right, and then once I get into Christie's or another auction house like I had mentioned,
Right.
the price will be exponentially higher.
So let me ask you this real quick. How many artists does your gallery feature here?
A total of 24.
24?
Yeah, a total of 24.
Okay.
And that's, like I said, nationally, internationally. We just brought 2 artists on the team, one from Chicago, sculptor. We have a beautiful sculpture of Kamala Harris inside of our gallery.
Wow.
Black bronze, won first place in Art Basel.
Wow.
Yeah, nice. And then we have another sculptor from Boston.
Okay.
His name is Michael Alfano.
Okay.
And he does life-size sculptures.
Seriously?
Yeah, so he has life-size sculptures everywhere out in Boston and all throughout the U.S.
Okay.
So we brought in a few of his tabletops
Okay.
inside of the gallery. So if anybody's looking for a sculpture to go along with their painting, you know, really make your house exquisite. And sculptures, you know, if you don't know where to put them at, you want to put those on like pedestals. You know, you get yourself a nice pedestal, put it in a corner, or a nice little end table, and put a sculpture there, you know.
You know what? Thank you, man. Hey, so listen, this is my last question that I really got for you. So, because like I said, I like Ocean's 11. You know, I like art heist type of movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm regular. I'm still trying to get educated like everybody else. You feel me? So listen, would you consider art as like a symbol of being a savant or having some level of class?
I would say knowledge is class.
Okay.
A lot of people don't have knowledge, and I understood that once I got into the art industry. Like a lot of people, they shy away from knowledge. There's so many people that say I won't come to your gallery because I don't know about art. Wow. I like it, but I don't know.
Are you serious?
I'm scared to learn about it. You know, and that sense of shying away from your ignorance is what holds us back. Not from access from art. I could care less about that when it comes to that. But it's really what holds us back as a people from accessing the world.
Exactly.
You know, if we shy away from opportunities where we could meet new people or learn new things from people that come from the same or similar backgrounds, then we'd be so much further in life. And that's how people end up making it in different cultures. So, you know, that...
You know what, and not to cut you off because I heard Killer Mike say that one time, and I kind of live by this, right? He said, Black people, us as a people, our mind be so made up sometimes that we will miss out on opportunities that may be for us. You know what I'm saying? So, like you're saying, when it comes to, like you said, even if it's not even an art, even if it's something else, like we shouldn't be so closed-minded that we don't, you know, at least broaden our thought process to be able to be receptive to other things. You know what I'm saying? Don't close it out just because it may look foreign, it may look strange. It might be the best thing for you.
Exactly,
so, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So that's right there on the head. Is like, you know, you never know who you're talking to, and you really never know who's in the room. But that could be the opportunity that you probably never been looking for, but needed. You know, because that's how it really happened with me. You know, I wasn't even really looking for this. I was doing a solo show off the behalf of myself and my wife, and we was just trying to push it because she wouldn't let me give up. Next thing you know, somebody else knows me. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really me trying. It was everybody trying for me. So it let me know sometimes you just gotta try for yourself and keep trying. You know, and I guess that's my testimony right there. Is to tell everybody else now keep trying. You know what I mean? Because even getting into the art full time, you know, I had a job before, but I ended up stopped working. But I didn't stop working because I quit. Right. You know what I mean? It was more so they let me go.
Exactly.
So it was really, I got pushed into everything, you know, full time. So when it happened, you know, it makes me really go harder and everything like that, and everything starts to happen on the good side. Exactly. So that's like another testimony to just tell people, go ahead, go for it. You know what I mean? I know it's hard, I know it's scary, and it's still scary for me, but at the end of the day, is what's your passion? What's gonna get you there? And are you willing to put in the work? You know.
Man, that's what's up, man. Hey, listen, bro. I want to appreciate you coming on to the platform. You know what I'm saying? You know, gracing us and accepting us in your house and your gallery, showing us teaching us, you know what I'm saying, educating us on things that I didn't know. I'm pretty sure my audience didn't know. So hopefully that you'll have us back again sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to plug in, you know, your art fairs or...
Yeah. So right now we're having an art show from April 22nd to June 22nd. We're open every day on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can go to YamojaFineArts.com. Our address is 16250 Northland Drive, Suite 102, in the Crossroads building in Southfield, Michigan. So I appreciate if y'all stop by, and y'all can follow me on Instagram at Marcel Stewart Art.
Let's get it, man.
Appreciate y'all.
I appreciate it. You already know you tuned in to Free Nights and Weekends. You with it, man. Weekends.
Step back, get him in his face, that's the heads up. The way I'm gigging with this ice, code name Vezo. I've been grooving, pulling strings, should've been a cello. Cash app scam when they bust me down the preso. These niggas capped, so I really don't believe them. Bro just scored, got a lane down in Cleveland. Bound for the Jordan, sellin' for the KD. Try to get my baby girl mailed in from AZ. Trapping in my bitch with Brad making flips, 13 a pound. I came up off them cheap zips. Missed the hop on a squeeze, a part of the mob. Hustle half my life, other times got jobs. My 4-2 niggas say this ain't what he want from me. My Van Dyke niggas been always so close to me. I've adopted a lifestyle, I move like a boss. It's a time for war, and it's a time to get off. Draco.